Hello, this is Chad with 1% Lists Tacoma, and today I would like to title this video, Horrible Agents Continued. So let me set the stage for you. I usually interview to become a listing agent for a home seller, and in most cases, those sellers will interview a handful of agents. This scenario, it was myself and two other agents. Now, I held an open house recently for this homeowner, and this homeowner showed up, just popped by and just said, "Hey, Chad, I really appreciate you, and I wanted to share with you some things." And he said, "Is that okay?" I said, "Of course." He says, "First of which, I'd like to share with you the reason why I hired you." I said, "Okay, great." He goes, "I love the way you presented yourself. I loved your professionalism, and I loved your knowledge depth." And I said, "Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you." And he says, "You know, and it made the decision that much easier with your value proposition." He says, "It wasn't just because of the value proposition, it was more so due to the other things. My value proposition is the fact that I list homes for 1%, right? Pretty big value proposition." So he went on to say, "Can I share something else with you?" And I didn't know what my client did as employment, right? I didn't know what he did for a living. He's an attorney. And he says, "I want to share something with you." He's like, "I'm not sure if this is commonplace in your industry." He's like, "However, the other two agents that I decided not to hire," he goes, "each of them reached out to me, both of which for very similar reasons." He goes, "The first one goes, 'Gosh, I'm so disappointed that you went with somebody else or you didn't afford me the opportunity. And you know, I don't think you're going to get what you want from that company. They're 1% for a reason." And I was like, "What?" The other person, similar kind of a situation, "I wish you would have afforded me the chance, to come back to the table with, we could have talked through things." And if you're an agent and you can't present your best foot forward upon your first interview, just expect that you may not get a call back. And when you don't get a call back and you realize that they hired somebody else, for the love of God, do not call them to express your disappointment, to complain, or to talk poorly about the individual that they did hire. That is such a bad representation of our industry, and it is a poor example of real estate agents as a whole. You are setting our industry back by taking those steps. It is childish, it is immature, and it is unprofessional. Anyway, I hope that helps someone.